Hey y'all, and welcome back. I'm gonna try to go live. I'm trying to get it cleared out on the back end that my channel is public and not owned by foreign enemies like it has been. So let me just see if there's anyone real here. Let me see the numbers. There's nobody here. It's a fake audience. We got a heart. So I was getting messages today that my YouTube audience is from Michigan. And then I thought, I think it's the Michigan feds. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's the Michigan feds. And they infiltrated my YouTube channel sometime like a year ago. And that's why I couldn't get out the messages. And that is the home state of Eric Prince. So that makes sense. That's also the home state of nanotech programs. Michigan University, I believe, heads up one of the largest nanotech programs, which was banned back end and ordered to be shut down because all that is weapons. So we have to get rid of all of the nanotech out there. So right now it just shows I have 15 people, 13, 11 people now. So that's the audience I was getting today to my channel, which is why it's so low. Also, I'm pretty sure the Michigan feds are probably been infiltrated. Let me check in on the feds over there. What is going on with the Michigan feds? God and my angels, what is going on with the Michigan? I have a 501s, so they're in battle with one another. They probably have how to get away from their freaking bosses. All they have to do is follow commands. Okay, if a boss is getting in the way of any assignments or putting out false assignments for them, they don't have to do those assignments. They have to follow commands. Okay, that's what they have to do right now. That's what all of the feds have to do. But except Manhattan feds, they're in their own category because they were eaten alive. Okay, they were put in their own lands, and that is, I want to say that's the hub of command for all of the feds. It was the hub. It was coming through Rod Rosenstein, okay? Rod Rosenstein was the hub of their command. So they were commanding out to a lot of the larger bureaus. And Rod was a spy. He was a Russian asset. He was not allowing them to investigate anything into Russians or work on any of Trump-Russia business dealings, which is how they infiltrated all of our corporations, our farms, our meat farms, the dairy industry, our CEOs. That's Rod. Rod did that all himself. Rod Rosenstein did that. So there could have been feds working on real assignments, but they used every single one of their assignments as an infiltration plot. So today I was doing energies around DC Capitol Police. And their whole system, DC Capitol Police, is tied into Bill Gates' system. Isn't that comforting, guys? I thought you guys would like to know that because Bill Gates' system is directly tied into Jeffrey Epstein's system. So if everybody's wondering what the hell is going on in Washington, this is what's really going on. There you go. There you go. So, we have 2 people commenting right now and 28 viewers on a channel that's supposed to have close to 1,000 subs right now. So I'm still being boxed in. Let me see. I have Russians all over my channel. So I have to learn Russian. They're boxing me in. I got to go into a little war today with my top killer, Oleg Deripaska. He's been gunning for me for a long time now. All my cards just fell on the ground. There it all went. He's the guy that was gunning for me in New York. And then I got to go on this fun little journey with the Russians. All of my freaking cards just fell. They're all disappointed in me right now, whoever this is. So Oleg, if you guys want some background on Oleg, for all you Russians out there, Oleg is with Kellyanne Conway. So it's all very interesting because there was like this huge FBI raid, okay, into Oleg Paska's, one of his homes in DC that happened to be next to Kellyanne Conway's home, okay? That's the information that was coming up when I was reading. So I'm thinking that something else was going on with those DC feds and Kellyanne Conway and Oleg Deripaska, and that it really wasn't a raid, but it was something else. What do you guys think? I'm getting more viewers. I'm thinking something else was going on with that raid. I don't know if that was a real raid because no arrests came, and I know how many people Oleg has gone after, okay? And a lot of stuff coming in now around his music studio in Burbank, which I believe is connected to Scientology labs, but he's tied into all of the Manhattan music execs, okay? Which explains now why I had a music exec from Sony come in as a client of mine. A real life client who I had a Zoom video with. So I'm thinking Sony is probably got infiltrated by the Russians or their music execs in some way. It's something tied to Manhattan. Because all their music execs were charged on the back end for war crimes. Okay, all of the music execs in Manhattan were charged with war crimes against the United States of America. So we have a music industry issue, and they were trying to get me into the music industry with Scooter Braun, and they were trying to get me in with through Oleg in when I was in California, and I was refusing to freaking go in and do what they wanted me to do because I knew who they were. And that seems to be how a lot of their operations are going. So I don't know, apparently I have 60 people here. And I have a few people commenting. So we have a situation with Oleg right now. The other situation that we have, okay, and we've had that situation for a long time, by the way, because I think he's directly tied to McGonigal, if that's I pronounce his name, and he was an FBI official that apparently got, I guess he like retired or was laid off or something like that. He left the bureau, but I don't think he really left the bureau, and I think that was all a staged freaking show. Because I think McGonigal was operating their operations alongside of Oleg. I think they were in coordination with each other since 2021. So I have the sun coming out of that. Maybe that's new information coming in. So we have a tower situation in DC right now, which I think everybody's aware of. We have two fake presidencies right now, two fake presidencies. We have Trump's first fake presidency and his second fake presidency. We have a Russian infiltration into our country that people still don't really understand fully, which is directly tied to the feds. So the feds were already ordered to be removed out of Manhattan's location, and I don't believe they were removed. We have two fake FBI directors, fake FBI director Christopher Wray, fake FBI director Cash Patel, okay, which they're calling plants. They're brought in as plants. They pretend to do investigations. They pretend to be working for the country when they are fully working against the country. As you can see, you can clearly see our country is just not right. It just ain't right. It just ain't right. Thanks from Sandy. Ooh, I got some black magic there. Thank you for your black magic. I appreciate that. It's exactly what I need right now is more black magic. So let me see what else is coming in right now. So The biggest issue right now is what I uncovered the other day. So you can look at our country's intel, okay, and how it's set up, which I'm not going to share with how it's set up, and all of the wiring systems for the Pentagon, for everything, okay? And what they did, what Trump did, and the Russians did, they're saying China did, in coordination with the Russians, because they're all friends, is that they outlined all of our basically intel communications and the entire network. They outlined it almost like they traced over it. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay, within the intel portals, they traced over all of our security systems with Bill Gates's security system. They traced over it. It's an overlay of all of our systems. So somebody internally must have given away our intel map or something along those lines. And then Bill Gates, his teams of techies, they're saying in China, probably out of Beijing, they overlaid the system. So they created like another system on top of our intel systems. That's what's going on with the chaos in our country right now and Donald Trump, okay? They literally went over our own systems. So that's why I was like confused about how they were figuring this out. I saw it as a firewall. That's how I saw Bill Gates' system. And that's a Bill Gates Epstein system, okay? That is a fully coordinated Jeffrey Epstein Bill Gates system, which is part of Havana syndrome, and it's part of the trafficking portals, okay? That Donald Trump created. He created an international trafficking ring to sell us on the black market through his hedge funder, Steven Mnuchin, Goldman Sachs, for almost 20 years to hedge fund us. Hedge funders are contract killers. That's what they are. That's what they are. You are worth a certain dollar amount when you come in. You're part of people's stocks and bonds, their investments, and then they move you to the banks through their controllers, and you're a hedge fund. And that's what I became. I became a hedge fund. Thanks to Donald Trump and Kellyanne Conway, and they're saying, and Gina Haspel, his CIA director. So that's what they did. That's what Bill Gates did. And Bill Gates on the back end was already supposed to have his assets seized. Okay? He was supposed to have all the deeds to his land seized because it's not his property anymore. And that's why Warren Buffett was trying to sell off his property because Warren knew. There's a lot of stuff that has been going on the back end. And some of it hits the news, some of it doesn't. Okay? Some of it goes out, some of it doesn't. Most of it does not go out. Most of it does go out. So let me see if there's other messages. So the big one is how they infiltrated us and why we are not, I guess, a full working country at the moment right now. We are in a declaration of war for the millionth time against Donald J. Trump. We entered into it at the end of March 2025. He was ordered not to swear in, okay, on his inauguration day. And we were already under attack. See, I have the card. It just flew. There it is. It didn't fly out. It appeared. Yes. We were already under attack by him and his military. So everybody's asking, why aren't you in D.C.? Why aren't you in the White House? Because I am barricaded in by all of George Washington. I'm sorry. I don't know why George Washington came in. George W. They're programming me right now to say that. So maybe some significance to George Washington. George W.'s generals, okay, and Trump's generals. They're their generals. So I am barricaded in by the Republican generals right now who have refused to be removed from their post, even though they were commanded and ordered to be removed by force on the back end, okay? They were already ordered to be removed. All of his generals who are barricading me in and dishonoring my rank. So that's General Milley. That was General Mike Flynn. They brought in Charles Flynn, I think, to see if he would do the right thing. He did not do the right thing. He did not do the right thing. He is one of them. He's an insurrection boy. So that's Charles Flynn, Mike Flynn, ordered to be removed by force. General Mattis, ordered to be removed by force for underground coalitions. Also, McMaster was ordered to be removed. Dan Coates was ordered to be removed. I'm trying to think who else was ordered to be removed. I mean, Rex Tillerson, he's part of all of those deals as well. He's Mr. Exxon. He's Mr. Boy Scouts of America with all their lawsuits. I don't remember how many lawsuits it is, if it's like 39,000 lawsuits of sexual assault. You know, all of them are all the deep state underbelly that we all have to essentially remove. So, a lot going on right now. Let me see if there's any other messages. I'm starving. I got attacked by an AI weapon about an hour ago, and I had to leave, obviously, because I could not make food. This is always how it is right now. So, as of right now, we have a full infiltration through AI and nanotech, and we have to get all of the spy bots removed and shut down. We have to get all of Bill Gates' systems shut down and removed. We have to get all of the security systems back up and running and operating. We have to get the Pentagon cleared of the Russians, which I've said I don't know how many times on here to get the freaking Russians out of the Pentagon. There's other infiltration into the Pentagon. The Saudis got into the Pentagon security systems thanks to Donald Trump and all of his freaking crooked, unapproved business dealings with Saudis that were not U.S. approved. Not U.S. approved in any way. Nothing he has done has been U.S. approved. He just does whatever the hell he wants. So let me see what else. I don't know if I even have a real audience still. I don't. I have a 62-person audience right now. Let me check in with my audience and see where they're at. They just feel like they're a fake audience. They're like a planted audience right now. So I'm still having issues with a real audience on YouTube. So I don't know if that's coming in through the NSA. I don't know how they're controlling my YouTube audience, but that's also a violation of freedom of speech and breaking the chain of command. That came in again just before. I have every right to get messages out to the American people. I have every right. Every right. They're not allowed my Wi-Fi. They're not allowed to mess with my connection. They're not allowed to interfere with this broadcast in any way. Those are all crimes. They're coming in as national security crimes. They are not allowed to strip me my rank. They're not allowed to strip me of being able to speak in public. They're not allowed to infiltrate the media and block the media from going near me. They are not allowed to weaponize feds or federal agents against me or any American. They are not allowed to use them as a weapon to strip them of any of their rights or freedoms ever. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the back end with cops and a lot of the crap they've been fed by this administration, these administrations. The cops have been instructed to direct anyone who are victims of these weapons to the feds, which is all an inside because the feds are already pretty much, they've been compromised and infiltrated. But the cops now have been schooled on the back end that the law is the law. They are law enforcement. And all of that crap that with their little talking lines, their speaking lines, is all crap. They have to uphold the law, and anyone that is obstructing anybody's justice through any type of AI or technology is a form of terrorism. And they have to act and not pretend that this is out of their jurisdiction when it is fully under jurisdiction to uphold the law and protect Americans every single day. So they're getting schooled on the back end right now. Because this is all full-blown operations, military weapons being used against innocent civilians, Americans, to hurt us. All of the cloud technology is criminal, illegal. They are not allowed any type of cloud tech ever. So let me just see if there's any other messages, but they're still blocking the broadcast from getting out. Let me see what else. I know they're bringing in other people. They're probably bringing in Russians right now to comment on my broadcast. Which is probably intentionally endangering me if we're in a war against Vladimir Putin. Okay, so let me see what else. Is there any other messages right now? There is an issue with Japan trying to bring and infiltrate Japan right now to bring them on board with this AI warfare. So if anything, there should be protections for Japan so that they are not brought into this show. Because we're trying to shut down the shit show that is currently right now China, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, and Russia. That's the shit show we're dealing with now, and Africa. Africa is a huge fucking problem right now. We declared war against Africa like a couple of days ago because of their negligence and them still funding these black operations globally through their freaking gold and all of their other minerals and resources. And they were already warned on the back end several times. So now we have an issue with Africa. And we definitely have an issue with Israel. They never got us back their freaking fighter jets. Those are our fighter jets out of U.S. military budgets. They never gave them back. Those are our F-35s. And they were supposed to give us back all the weapons. Because that was a staged event with the whole baby thing was a staged event. And then Joe Biden, he accidentally approved the weapons to them, realizing then in hindsight that it was all a job to get the Gaza Strip for Mr. Jared Kushner and the oil guys. So they need to give us back all the weapons because those are not approved and it was under false pretenses. So Israel owes us back weapons and fighter jets right now. They owe us back all of that. So anyways, let me just see if there's any other messages, I guess, for the country, since I'm being blocked from even getting messages out to the country right now. It looks like there's other stuff that's in the works right now with probably another country. So that country probably has to be, they have to be stopped or protected in some way. There's another country coming up that I don't recognize right now. I don't recognize who this country is. It almost feels like Finland or Sweden. So there's another attack plan that they're probably going to infiltrate another group right now. So there are countries that have been able to combat this enemy, okay? There have been countries that they were fully supposed to be infiltrated and they did successfully combat them. They are still working on those countries actively, obviously, but they were strong enough to combat them. But I can tell when they're going after new countries. And I know the countries that they're infiltrating. So Japan right now is who they're fully trying to infiltrate. And then there's another country that's in the works. I don't know. It's something with their candies. I think it's I don't know what it's with it's a country that likes candy. So that's the country. I don't know. It feels like it's Sweden. It feels like it's one of those kind of like happy countries, okay? So it could be, I mean, I know they went after Greenland pretty hard. And I know I know why they went after Greenland. I know it was because of they were trying to get and break into the northern lights, the skies. That was a big part of the Greenland agenda. And Sweden probably is similar. So anyways, I think they have to be shut down immediately, obviously, because everything they're breaking into is a weapon to hurt us in some way. Okay, let me see if there's any other messages right now with any messages that need to get out in any way to good people working for justice right now. If there's any other messages that need to get out right now. Issue with Texas, which we've known for a while. So on the back end, Texas was charged with war crimes, and their leaders were charged with war crimes because of everything that happened with Elon, okay, and all of those deals that went on. Tesla was ordered to be shut down. All of the Tesla cars were ordered to be destroyed. Why? Why would Tesla cars be ordered to destroy? They actually use aliens, okay, in their cars. I know that sounds weird. You know how they sound weird when they drive by? They're actually hurting aliens. Their cars are demons, essentially. They are demonic, and a lot of his tech is demonic, and it hurts aliens. And so a lot of their stuff has to be shut down. Waymo was ordered to be shut down. Their Waymo grid system was ordered to be shut down. That is a weapon, and it's the preliminary grid system for the smart cities, which is how they would essentially chip us with Neuralink and then dehumanize us and own us like we're robots. They literally programming our lives, taking from us whatever they want. It's tied into Israel's agenda. It's tied into Black Cube, okay, which is all interdimensional warfare. And this is how they're trying to keep the Rothschilds and everybody else in power position. So we are up against the dark royal families. And the dark royal families are Swarovski and the Rothschilds, the Hiltons. Trump is part of that. His ancestry ties back into that. I believe he's from Switzerland originally. He's KKK. White supremacy, Nazism. So that's what we're up against globally. That's what we're up against. Devil coming through. So we have to essentially remove all of their grid systems. We have to remove all the dehumanization agendas. We have to remove all the AI implants. Texas is the problem. Texas is AI implant land. That's where they are. All the implants are from Texas. So I know that Elon stuff is all there. So that's probably where it is, Neuralink. It might have been headed up through Texas CIA operations. I know Texas CIA was fired 2 days ago. It could be it was Texas CIA operations and Texas, they're saying oil operations. And Texas Fed operation, FBI operations, and Texas FEMA operations. I know they're all tied in together. So all of the AI has to be removed. All of the implants, labs, and things like that have to be shut down. I've gotten a lot of references to Embry-Riddle labs, that they're using Embry-Riddle, medical schools, labs to do these dark Nazi experimentation projects on humans. There's also been issues with Vanderbilt labs. I've been trying to get a location on them. They come out of there. It's coming from Vermont, of all places. So Vermont is a situation where the Russians were infiltrating Vermont, and that's part of the dairy infiltration as well. And Ben & Jerry's is tied into that. They went after the dairy farmers. They're going after everything they can on U.S. soil, everything. The water, they put parasites in the water. The Russians put parasites in the water, and it's connected to Donald. These are all Donald Trump operations. COVID-19, Donald Trump, China operations. They lied to the American people about everything that happened. They lied. They lied about everything. I'm now thinking that Gina Haspel is tied into COVID-19 operations, just because I know that it was connected to Stanford Lab. It was connected to Stanford University, and she is from Stanford, and she's the CIA director at that time. Also, I know Alpha, what is it? Alpha Inc. Is it Alpha Inc.? The owner of YouTube or Google, Alphabet Inc. They're all Stanford. They're all Stanford. They're all techie. They all own all the techie stuff. Pretty sure they're tied into the COVID-19 agenda. If Stanford is the main school that came up in coordination to COVID, then that's the agenda. Pfizer is also tied into that. It's part of the Pfizer Bill Gates population control agenda. They had a 5-year plan to cut the population in half by 50%, to reduce the population. You have me spit. This is Zuckerberg coming in right now. He's going to have me spit because he's programming people. He is part of the dehumanization agenda, population control agenda, and he said it on camera. The owner of Pfizer. The owner of Pfizer, the CEO of Pfizer is from Greece. He's from Greece. And I think he's responsible for getting out the nuclear. I think he might have something to do with it. That's just my gut. I don't have that in writing, but it's my gut. Anyway, I'll leave you guys there. Hopefully we can start getting our country back in alignment, back in order. And yeah, so Donald Trump is actively working on smear campaigns, okay, to dog anyone working for truth and justice. He has teams working out of Manhattan under the Hiltons, under Ivanki, okay? They have elite teams, they have secret governments. Their secret governments are of feds and CIA agents, okay? They have their own agents, these governments. Something to be aware of. They have secret campaigns. They are still working on their AI. They're working on thoughtbot technologies. And, you know, it's just something to be aware of trying to figure out who's working for the good, who's working for the light, who's working for the country. And they're trying to block that messaging right now. But it is very important to be cognizant of who's working for the people. I'm hearing to report people as often as possible to continue protecting yourself, to report who are not working on the right agendas. Nobody is allowed to work on any of Donald Trump's blacklist agendas. No one is allowed to work on that. That was Project 2025. You are not allowed to work on any of Donald Trump's agendas. That you are not allowed any federal budgets for anything connected to Donald Trump or anything connected to Russian, AI, nothing. Okay, we are moving away from the AI agendas. We moved to a green agenda, a sustainable fuel agenda. We are pulling back from all of these countries. We were supposed to pull back all of our military from the Middle East. We are supposed to be removing anyone who is part of deployment to the Middle East. We have to look at every person in the military right now and who they really work for, because we have to clear out all the George W. train, all the Bush train out of our military right now. They were all working for oil agendas, oil operations. These are not U.S. agendas. These are not U.S. approved operations either. We are moving in a completely different direction. a new direction completely to bring monies back into our economy so we are not relying on any foreign countries' monies, okay? So that we are independently, I'm hearing they're saying wealthy, but we are independently happy and working on the right agendas, okay, that actually bring us happiness and fulfillment so we are not owned in any way. I haven't watched Terminator 3, but on the back end, Schwarzenegger has been charged, okay? On the back end. He has been charged as a Russian asset. And he has been charged with war crimes. He is charged with trafficking crimes. He has been charged with murder crimes. He's been charged with every crime on the back end, Schwarzenegger. And so is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise coming in as some kind of foreign plant. He's coming in as the same category as Donald Trump. I don't know what his background is. I don't know what country he's from. But he's coming in as somebody from a foreign country right now. So, a lot of stuff still has to be enforced on the back end in terms of commands. We have a tower situation going on, and we didn't understand how to what degree they're saying the information is, okay? So that we can understand what we're supposed to do and how we follow procedures, etc. So I'm wishing you guys the best. I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care, and God bless America.